Did you know that in 2023, BYD sold more electric vehicles than Tesla, becoming the world's largest EV manufacturer? Hi, welcome to a deep dive into BYD, short for Build Your Dreams, a Chinese automaker that started as a tiny battery startup in Shenzhen. From electric sedans and buses to trucks and ships, BYD has become a global powerhouse. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll discover the exact strategies that help BYD overtake Tesla and dominate the EV market worldwide. BYD's story begins in 1995, when Wang Chuanfu, a chemist and former assistant professor at Beijing Technical University, founded the company in Shenzhen, often called China's Silicon Valley. At the time, the battery industry in China was dominated by expensive Japanese and Korean imports. Wang saw a golden opportunity. If he could produce high-quality batteries at lower costs, he could undercut the competition and win market share quickly. The company's first products were rechargeable batteries for mobile phones, laptops, and other electronics. Major clients included Motorola, Nokia, and Samsung. By 2002, BYD had become the world's second-largest manufacturer of rechargeable batteries, capturing 25% of the global market. That same year, they went public on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. But Wang had bigger ambitions. He wasn't just content with batteries. He envisioned a future where BYD would redefine transportation itself. And he knew that electric vehicles would be at the center of it. And so, in 2003, BYD made its first audacious move into the automotive world. The acquisition of a struggling state-owned car company, Sichuan Automobile, for 269 million yuan. At the time, most people thought Wang had lost his mind. He had no experience building cars, and the domestic Chinese auto market was still dominated by joint ventures with foreign automakers. Yet this was a calculated play. Sichuan came with existing manufacturing facilities, an auto production license, and some basic expertise, giving Wang a shortcut into the automotive market. With BYD's battery knowledge as the foundation, the company began building cars, initially focusing on gasoline vehicles to generate revenue, while simultaneously investing in electric vehicle research. BYD's early cars were, frankly, nothing to write home about. The first prototypes were rejected by dealers, and at one point, Wang himself smashed a particularly ugly model to avoid wasting resources on a failed design. But the company quickly pivoted, launching the BYD F3 sedan, which bore a striking resemblance to a Toyota Corolla, but at half the price. It was an instant hit, selling over 63,000 units in its first year, with the 100,000th car rolling off the line just 20 months later. This was the beginning of BYD's philosophy: offer premium-looking cars at affordable prices, leveraging their battery expertise to differentiate themselves from other domestic competitors. Early on, BYD gained a reputation for reverse engineering, taking inspiration from Japanese and European models, then adapting them for the Chinese market. The F0, for instance, resembled the Toyota Aygo, while the F6 mirrored the Honda Accord. Critics called it unoriginal, but Wang argued that as long as the technology wasn't patented, it was fair game. By 2006, BYD had ramped up investment in R&D, founding the Electric Vehicle Research Institute to develop a full lineup of EVs and plug-in hybrids. This was when the company began positioning itself as more than just a local automaker. It had global ambition. Wang boldly declared that BYD would dominate China by 2015 and the world by 2025. 2008 marked a pivotal year. BYD unveiled the F3DM, the world's first mass-produced plug-in hybrid, at the Geneva Motor Show. Around the same time, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway acquired a 10% stake in BYD for $232 million, a move that validated the company's potential to investors worldwide. Buffett reportedly described Wang as a mix of Thomas Edison and Jack Welch, a visionary who could both invent and execute. That initial investment would later grow into a staggering $7.4 billion, showcasing BYD's meteoric rise. With cash flow from gasoline vehicles and R&D fueled by government subsidies, BYD fully embraced the electric vehicle market. By 2009, the company introduced the E6, an all-electric vehicle with a range of 400 kilometers, aimed at fleets and taxi operators. Around the same time, BYD launched the K9 electric bus, which became one of the most successful electric bus models globally. BYD's approach was multi-pronged. It wasn't just selling EVs to consumers, it was dominating public transportation, electric taxis, and fleet vehicles in China, Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Europe. Over the next decade, BYD scaled aggressively. By 2016, its electric buses were operating in over 200 cities worldwide, while passenger EV sales surged in China thanks to government subsidies, tax incentives, and license plate exemptions for EVs. In 2020, BYD introduced the Blade battery, a safer, cobalt-free alternative to traditional lithium-ion batteries. This innovation addressed one of the biggest concerns about EV adoption: battery safety. Vertical integration was also a critical factor. BYD manufactured 75% of its vehicle components in-house, including batteries, motors, and chips, insulating itself from the global supply chain disruptions that affected many other automakers. BYD's strategy of affordable, reliable EVs paid off. While the Tesla Model 3 started at around $35,000, BYD's Seago, launched in 2023, cost under $10,000 and offered a range of 190 to 251 miles. This price point made BYD dominant in price-sensitive markets, from China to Southeast Asia and Latin America. Their models like the Yuan, Dolphin, and Seal helped BYD capture 35% of China's EV market, while Tesla's Model Y secured the 5th spot. Globally, BYD surpassed Tesla in EV sales in late 2023, delivering over 3 million vehicles, compared to Tesla's 2.9 million. Before we go further, if you're enjoying this breakdown of BYD's rise and want more deep dives into business strategy and financial storytelling, make sure to like this video and subscribe. We break down companies like BYD, Tesla, and more, uncovering the strategies that drive them to dominate the market. Despite its success, BYD has faced hurdles. Subsidies that once fueled growth were gradually reduced in 2017, leading to lower profits. International expansion also came with challenges, from safety regulations in Australia to EU anti-dumping investigations. Warren Buffett began selling parts of his stake in 2022, possibly due to geopolitical or profit-taking considerations. Yet BYD responded strategically. It diversified into electric trucks, forklifts, specialized port vehicles, and even built its own roll-on/roll-off ship, the BYD Explorer, to transport thousands of vehicles globally. This vertical integration, coupled with aggressive innovation, allowed BYD to reduce costs, control quality, and accelerate growth. The 2023 launch of the Seago showcased BYD's strategy perfectly: small, affordable EVs with strong range and safety aimed at first-time buyers. Within 7 months, BYD sold 2,000 units in China alone, proving that EV adoption is no longer a niche market, it's becoming mainstream. At the same time, BYD announced plans to fully phase out internal combustion engine vehicles, signaling a total commitment to electric mobility. This move set them apart from competitors who were still hedging between ICE and EV production. BYD's global strategy is also impressive. They've established factories in Europe, the US, Brazil, and Hungary, producing buses and EV components. Partnerships with major companies, including rumored collaborations with Apple on battery technology, demonstrate that BYD is positioning itself not just as an automaker, but as a key player in the global EV ecosystem. Let's put the scale into perspective. Revenue, 2020, 153.5 billion RMB, approximately $23.7 billion. Employees, 700,000 plus worldwide. EVs produced, 2023, over 6 million units. Market share, 35% of China's EV market, top seller in multiple international markets. BYD has transformed from a 20-person startup to a global powerhouse, challenging Tesla, Volkswagen, Toyota, and other traditional auto giants. Looking ahead, BYD continues to innovate and expand. Electric buses and public transport, leading cities in Europe and Latin America. Battery and chip technology. Vertical integration ensures independence from supply chain crises. Mass-market EV adoption, affordable cars like the Seagull and Dolphin, global expansion, manufacturing in multiple continents, shipping 7,000 cars per vessel, tech partnerships, potential collaborations with Apple and other tech giants. The rise of BYD also illustrates a broader trend. Chinese companies are leveraging scale, cost advantages, and government support to challenge traditional Western dominance in key industries. BYD's journey from a small battery manufacturer to the king of EVs is a case study in vision, timing, and execution. From humble beginnings, bold risks, and strategic pivots, they've proven that with the right mix of technology, cost strategy, and market insight, even an underdog can topple giants. So, what do you think? Is BYD poised to reshape the global auto industry, or will Tesla and legacy automakers fight back? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep learning the business secrets behind today's most fascinating companies, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of finance, strategy, and innovation.